Hey, Dave, thanks for joining us this afternoon. First off, I wanted to say congratulations on having a banner 5 years, averaging over $6 million in new sales every single year during that time frame. You know, you've always developed a reputation as an expert in your field, and we appreciate your taking a few minutes to share some of the key points that you have found to be to your success. So first of all, can you share with us why being focused and developing an expertise is so important?
Well, Jody, when I really was looking to get started, I had to ask myself some questions. And the first one was, who is going to be my market? The target market. Who did I want to market? I needed to say, did I have anything in common with these people? What are their concerns? So if I had things in common with them, I could build that rapport, which is necessary. If I had the same concerns, I could tell them, hey, this is how I used to feel, but then I found that I felt, and I could tell them my story, which would be really helpful as well. And then I had to really discover and say, okay, what types of products, what types of services does someone need with that? And become more of an expert in that. So educating a person along those lines, a lot of things that I had to learn and I had to educate them on. I wasn't compensated for it, but I was
Mhm.
building that rapport, and that was really important because the sales process isn't showing up. Hi, I've got an application, sign, and goodbye.
Right.
We're building a relationship, a long-term relationship. So, what types of services, what type of information they needed, multiple times going back and forth with them. The other thing is that I found that I didn't have all the answers, and I needed to be part of perhaps a team.
Mm,
So other things that these people needed was a good CPA or CPA advice, a good attorney in many cases, and then perhaps some other people in the insurance field or other fields of areas that I knew enough, but I didn't know enough to properly educate them. So I found myself going out and meeting with CPAs, attorneys, and other planners and kind of hooked up with them.
right.
And what I would say to everyone is that it's got to be a two-way street. I found that CPAs, attorneys are thanks, Dave, thanks, Dave, thanks, Dave. But if they're working in the same field, they're coming across these same people.
Right.
So I kind of came up with a motto, and I would tell them after a while, I give, I get, I don't get, you don't get. And I'm going to move on with that.
Right.
So, that was so important to have that set up. And then, where do I meet these people? And that's where the producers group really came in because I needed a marketing plan. And you guys helped me out with a marketing plan where I can meet these people and set up different ways. And then lastly, it was important to become the expert in that field.
Right. Right.
So becoming an expert in the field means that you've got to put your neck out on the line sometimes to find out what people are really going to ask to go back and do your research. So I read a lot of books, I did a lot of study, and I became the guy. So
Nice.
when a CPA gets someone that asks about what it is I'm an expert in, they say, hey, I've got a guy, Dave Cowan. And that led to referrals and multiple speaking events.
Wow.
So it was me thinking, me visualizing where I wanted to go, and then becoming focused on it.
Wow, Dave, thank you so much for sharing. I know you've always been really good at generating leads, like you said.
Yep.
Over the last, say, 5 or more years, you've really accelerated your growth. And I know one thing you've expressed to me is having a process was so important. Can you really help us understand why that's important and sort of what is your process?
Well, focus is everything. All
Right.
right. And what happens is that the grass is not greener on the other side. And a lot of times, even a client will come to you and say, hey, Dave, can you do this for me? And it's like, I'm a nice guy. I want to do that for him. But
Right.
I've learned to say no or not now, or better yet, let me pass it on. So
Right.
once again, I got together with perhaps what would be a junior agent, if not, uh, to go and say, hey, so and so can help you with this. Can I introduce them to you?
Nice.
So there's three words that spell success for me, and that's process, process, process. So you have to have that process, and you have to stick with it, and you also have to track it. So
Right.
what happens is that I knew in perhaps my 5 or 6 different steps where every prospect was. So then I didn't get lost and have to go back and say, let me research everything. So I kept them in that process. And the prospect also knew what the process was right from the beginning. I think that was a very important thing. This is what I do. This is how I get paid. This is the process we go through. Is this something that we are going to spend time, meet 3, 4, 5 times to go through this process and to get that agreement? So that's really, really important on that, to have that process. But then you also need a team behind you.
Right.
I happen to be a sole proprietor, if you would. My wife works with me part time. So the producer firm, knowing that I could call and they could process and help me and give me training and give me the support that I need, was extremely, extremely important. So they helped me do what it is that I did best, which was to go out and find the prospects and put them through the process. And as he said in the beginning, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
Wow. Thanks again, Dave. I mean, this is such valuable information. You've had an incredible career, and we at the producers firm, we're just so honored to be a part of it. And, you know, Dave is just one example of one of the hundreds of agents that we've been able to help accelerate their businesses to the next level. And our record of success working with agents like Dave and others is such that we've trademarked the term financial services entrepreneur. Our ebook, The Financial Services Entrepreneur, which can be found on our website, has taken what we've learned from decades of working with financial entrepreneurs and condensed it into invaluable knowledge. And we've made this ebook 29 need to do's to succeed in the financial services industry. So we welcome you to visit our website, theproducersfirm.com, to claim this ebook or to start a conversation on how we can help support your practice. Please call me today at 1-800-639-2032. Thanks again, Dave.
You're welcome.